Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video today. So basically what I'm going to do is just walk you through step by step the process that I go through to actually build out cold email prospect lists. Okay, so pretty simple process really. So yeah, I'm just going to dive straight into it. So really the first step, the first stage in actually being able to do this properly and actually making sure that you get a targeted list of contacts to reach out to via cold email is actually first like having clarity over who your ideal client avatar is. Okay, so basically as it stands right now, I'm running multiple outbound prospecting campaigns. I've got one down here for LinkedIn, one here for cold email. They're a bit different in terms of the targeting, but I'm just going to stick to this one here. So basically what you can see here is the job titles, industries, niches, geographical targeting, company size, and source, which is basically how I'm actually collecting that data. So yeah, this is really important to know this sort of demographic targeting criteria here, because if you don't know it, you're obviously not going to be able to build a targeted list of contacts for your campaign. Okay, so that's the first thing. You really got to get clarity on that. As you can see, I've just got this in a simple Google sheet. All right, so once you've done that, then what you're going to do, my preferred way to do this, once I've actually got this data organized, my preferred way to actually find these decision makers here, we'll find people that match all this criteria, is using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Specifically, the reason why is because I want to get the contact details of decision makers. I mean, there's a lot of tools out there you can use for this, like I don't know, Leads Recon, D7 Lead Finder. I mean, there's literally dozens. However, a lot of those will just give you businesses within like an industry or niche. They don't actually give you the decision maker. I want the decision maker, so 90% of the time I just use Sales Navigator on LinkedIn to do this, to find people that match this criteria here. Okay, so once you've got this criteria here defined, you're going to jump into Sales Nav, and I've already built this out. I've already done a few different lists for cold email here, but basically if you come up search for leads, you can see all this here in Sales Navigator, and that's why you really want to know all this stuff here, because if you don't know all this, there's no way you can build it out. Sales Navigator. Okay, so basically what I've got here, I've got geography here, which is London, marketing and advertising, and here I've done a Boolean search just to narrow it down, get a bit more specific, focusing on like ad agencies, creative agencies, branding agencies, web design agencies. Okay, and I've basically just entered those up here in the Boolean search for that. Job titles, pretty self-explanatory, this stuff. You're literally just copying and pasting what you've already done in your spreadsheet over here. Function, I've picked marketing and sales. I could also pick BD, but just for this specific list, I'm focusing on marketing, sales as a function, obviously company headcount. So it's pretty straightforward, really. You're just literally just building out in Sales Navigator whatever you've defined in your sheet here that your ideal client avatar matches. Okay, so once you've done that, you just click search, and it obviously brings all of that up. Okay, now the way I actually get the data or the contact details of these decision makers is using a tool called Weezer or Weezer. I don't know how you pronounce it, but same diff. I only just started using this pretty recently, actually. It's pretty cool though. So basically it's a Chrome extension you use to scrape data. Once you get that added into your browser, this thing here where it says export emails with Weezer will come up, and you can basically just click this button and it will start scraping the data of all these 934 people. Okay, so it's pretty cool. And what happens, where is Weezer? Got it open somewhere. What happens is it'll basically, this is what their dashboard looks like. So it'll come in, takes these three lists I've done. It took probably each list maybe 30, 40 minutes to do each of them. I can't remember exactly, something like that. But yeah, so once it's got all that, it'll basically just come up like this, and it will show you what's valid, what's risky, no email, and then the total number of contacts. Okay, so what's really cool about this is, yeah, it actually filters through like very quickly, basically. Like you know, I've got just for this list here, this is for London in the UK and also Australia. So basically, I've got in total 3,192 people, and over 1,000 of those are already valid emails. So I can basically start launching this campaign tomorrow, okay, or Monday, whatever. So I've already got 1,000 there that I can reach out to. So that's what's really cool about this tool. Like very quickly, you can get a lot of valid email addresses, okay, just from, you know, pressing that button and scraping the contact details of your ideal client avatars that you've built out in Sales Nav. Okay, and then obviously once you've done that, you can just come through and download as a CSV file, whatever you want. So obviously you're going to be doing the valid emails. The other thing I do, because obviously not out of this 3,000, only 1,000 or so are valid, what I then do is get all the risky email addresses and no email. And then what you do is compile those all into the one Google Sheet or CSV file. And then I use a tool called Norbert here. Norbert is, in my opinion, the most accurate for actually finding email addresses. Okay, this is a super cool tool. So basically what you do, once you've got, you know, those risky and no email people in a spreadsheet or a CSV file, you just come up to bulk here. So the tool's called Weezer Norbert. Okay, so if you just Google it, maybe I can just show you Weezer. Yes, if you just Google Weezer Norbert, you'll be able to find it. Okay, but yeah, this is what it looks like. So basically, you just come up here, upload a file, and then just pick, you know, whatever the actual CSV file is, and then just map it out, and it will then start looking for correct email addresses. Okay, so that's a really fast way to actually find email addresses of people here that come up as risky or no email. Granted, it's not going to get them all, but it will get a portion of them. Okay, and then the other thing I do is the email addresses or the contacts that Norbert can't find. Probably the best thing to do is to just find an actual human being to go and actually mine that data for you using Upwork or Fiverr or whatever. Okay, so but basically, for actually scraping these decision makers, their data, I use Weezer to get at least the valid ones, and then the risky and no email, I then jump into Norbert to try and get whatever's left, and then whatever's left after that, use a human being to actually go and do it. You should have a pretty good list by the end of that. As you can see from here, just this tool's already got 1,000 out of 3,192 people that are valid. So it's pretty cool. So that's really my process, step by step, for actually sourcing contact or prospects cold email campaigns. It's really super simple. You just need a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account. You just need to know exactly the demographic sort of targeting criteria of your ideal client profile, and then you can just plug that into Sales Navigator. Okay, I mean, I've got, where's another one I've done? This is PR companies or agencies in London. I'm also doing that one as well, and then got another one up here, same creative agencies and whatnot, but that one's for Australia. So yeah, it's pretty simple stuff to do, really. Weezer does a lot for you. Other things you can do that I've done for building an email list is a tool called Find That Lead, but I honestly kind of went off it last year, even though I used it a lot. But Find That Lead has this feature in it called Prospector, and you can basically, so as you can see, I've done like a ton of searches. But what you do is, so yeah, you just give your list a name, and this sources data directly from Sales Navigator and LinkedIn, I think. But I kind of found, especially towards the end of last year, that quality of the data was a bit shit, to be honest. So I stopped using it, and that's why I started using this tool, Weezer, instead. But I still do use, will use, Find That Lead from time to time. But this really, Sales Navigator plus Weezer is my sort of default now for actually sourcing contact details. Okay, so yeah, that's about it, guys. Pretty simple and straightforward, as you've just seen. Nothing complicated about it. Main thing is just being clear on who you want to be targeting first. So then you can actually build that out as a lead list in Sales Nav, and then yeah, just get Weezer installed, and it'll scrape those contacts for you. And literally, I've done this week, so I've basically got 1,000 contacts just in the last couple of days that I can email, and then there's another 2,000 that I can then come and verify using Norbert, and then basically a human being to get the rest of the data. So really simple stuff. All right, that's about it, guys. Hope that helps and gives you some ideas for sourcing your own data for cold email campaigns. If you've got any questions, drop them below, and I'll get back to you. Cheers, guys.